They say a man's life tells a story, but what if his last chapter was written in blood? On a freezing December night in 2003, a federal prosecutor drove into the darkness and never came back. Jonathan Luna wasn't just any prosecutor. He was a rising star in the U.S. Attorney's Office in Baltimore, a man who'd clawed his way from the South Bronx housing projects to the marble halls of federal justice. He had a wife, 2 kids, a respected career, and a reputation for taking down violent drug traffickers. But on the night of December 3rd, 2003, Luna left his office just before midnight, and by dawn, he was found face down in a shallow creek, stabbed 36 times. What happened in those 6 lost hours between Baltimore and the lonely back roads of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania? This is the story of the midnight ride of Jonathan Luna, a case where the closer you look, the less it makes sense. Jonathan Paul Luna was the embodiment of ambition. Born in the South Bronx in 1965, he grew up surrounded by concrete, noise, and struggle. His father was Filipino, his mother African-American from the Deep South, a mix of worlds that gave him grit and empathy. He earned a law degree from the University of North Carolina, married Angela Hopkins, an obstetrician, and together they built a life that looked, from the outside, perfect. A house, 2 sons, steady careers. The kind of success story you read about in graduation speeches. But perfection often hides cracks. Luna's career took him into the heart of Baltimore's drug wars. He prosecuted armed robbers, traffickers, and violent criminals who'd kill without blinking. He was the guy who put away men with nothing left to lose. In late 2003, he was handling a major case, a heroin ring led by a local rapper known as Poppy Jenkins and his associate Walter Poindexter. The trial was brutal, full of tension, and just one day before the verdict, Luna had managed to secure plea deals. That night, he stayed late in his courthouse office, typing up the final documents. At 11:38 p.m., he printed the agreements, left his glasses and cell phone behind, and walked out of the federal courthouse for the last time. From here, everything gets strange. Instead of driving home, a 20-minute trip, Luna's car took a bizarre, meandering route north. He crossed into Delaware just before midnight, using his Easy Pass as usual. But soon after, he stopped at an ATM at the JFK Plaza and withdrew $200. Was he alone? Surveillance footage suggests so, but the image is grainy, unclear. He looks calm, maybe even robotic. Then, something changed. Around 2:47 a.m., Luna crossed into Pennsylvania, but this time, he didn't use his Easy Pass. He took a paper toll ticket. Why? It's a small detail, but investigators fixated on it. It meant that someone, maybe Luna, maybe not, didn't want to leave an electronic trail. At 4:04 a.m., Luna's car exited the Pennsylvania Turnpike at the Reading Lancaster interchange. When the toll collector retrieved the ticket later, investigators found a small but chilling detail, a drop of blood. Luna's blood. That meant he was already wounded, long before his car reached the creek where his body would be found. It's the kind of clue that sends chills down your spine. He was bleeding, somewhere, somehow, and still driving, or being driven. Just before dawn, workers arriving at a rural drilling company in Lancaster County noticed something odd. A silver Honda Accord parked near a shallow creek, engine still running, headlights dim. Inside the water, face down, was Jonathan Luna. His body showed 36 stab wounds, most of them shallow, some deep enough to pierce his carotid artery. His own pocket knife lay nearby, slick with blood. The coroner said he drowned, but he'd already lost a fatal amount of blood before that. There was money scattered across the car's back seat. His wallet, ID, and courthouse badge were still on him. Nothing stolen. No sign of robbery. No sign of struggle, at least, not one that made sense. The pattern of wounds told a strange story. Some were shallow, almost like hesitation marks, the kind seen in suicides. But others were deep, vicious, aimed to kill. There were even cuts to sensitive areas, suggesting humiliation or torture. The Lancaster County coroner, Dr. Barry Walp, called it brutalized. He believed Luna was tortured before drowning. But the FBI saw something different, a man under stress, maybe guilt, maybe shame, who stabbed himself in a frenzy and drove until he collapsed. Suicide, they said. Case closed. The FBI versus the coroner. The battle lines were drawn. The FBI said it was suicide. The local coroner said it was murder. The FBI's case went like this. Luna was under pressure. $36,000 had gone missing from evidence in one of his cases. He was about to take a polygraph test. He was anxious, isolated, and embarrassed. They argued that he left his office that night in despair and ended his life. But the local investigators in Lancaster County didn't buy it. They saw the blood trail, the wounds, the missing time, and said no way. No one stabs themselves 36 times, drives for hours, and then finishes the job by drowning. It just didn't fit. Now, here's where things get murky. That missing $36,000 wasn't just a rumor, it was real. Evidence cache from a bank robbery case had vanished, and Luna was expected to explain it. Some colleagues said he was heartbroken over how his boss, U.S. Attorney Thomas DiBiagio, treated him. Another prosecutor, Lisa Griffin, even wrote a letter describing Luna's distress under DiBiagio's leadership. Was Luna depressed, or was he scared? Because if he was being set up, or if someone higher up was involved, then maybe his death wasn't self-inflicted at all. And it gets stranger. During the investigation, the FBI actually turned on one of their own agents, a woman who had worked closely with Luna. They accused her of having an affair with him, even confiscated her personal computer. She denied everything, and later, the Bureau admitted it was wrong to target her. The investigation had been poisoned by office politics and personal grudges. Imagine that, while Luna's killer, or killers, may have been out there, the FBI was busy interrogating one of their own for gossip. More than 20 years later, much of Luna's autopsy report remains sealed. In 2020, the Lancaster County District Attorney's Office obtained a court order to keep the records hidden. Journalists fought to unseal them, arguing the public has a right to know. In 2024, after renewed motions, the court still refused. What could possibly be in those files that's too sensitive to show? Photos? Evidence of foul play? Or just bureaucratic embarrassment? Until they're opened, we'll never know. 2 decades, dozens of theories. None proven. Revenge murder. Did someone Luna prosecuted come back for him? He'd sent dangerous people to prison, people who'd vowed revenge. Case-related hit. Was it tied to the Poppy Jenkins drug case he was finalizing that week? Government cover-up. Some believe he uncovered corruption, maybe within law enforcement itself. Suicide or staged death. Others think he tried to fake his own disappearance to escape the polygraph test, but went too far. Meeting gone wrong, or maybe he was meeting an informant that night, and things turned violent. Each theory fits, and none do. In 2024, filmmaker Daniel Cohen released The Midnight Ride of Jonathan Luna. The documentary promised shocking revelations and accusations of a government cover-up. Interviews with Luna's colleagues, a retired judge, and a former police commissioner all pointed toward one unsettling conclusion: the system may have protected itself instead of finding the truth. Cohen called it a scandalous miscarriage of justice, and after 2 decades, the evidence suggests he might be right. For Luna's wife, Angela, and their 2 sons, now adults, the pain never ended. They were told their husband and father might have killed himself. But they never believed it. Everything about his death, the route, the wounds, the sealed records, screams of something darker than despair. If you want to see more stories like this, real cases, real questions, no easy answers, subscribe and keep searching for the truth.